Buongiorno, everybody. It's a beautiful day today. Finally, we've had some serious rain the past few days. It was so gloomy, I was starting to get like, oh, yuck, you know. But today, first thing I want to do is I want to thank everybody for all the votes you guys have been giving me in the favorite chef competition. But you guys have been awesome, helping me stay in first place in my group. So I'm at least going to hopefully make these first couple rounds. Then we'll see what happens. You know, whatever happens, happens. But it really has been a great opportunity for me to feel the love from you guys. So I really, really, really appreciate it. You just have no idea. Anyway, the next thing I want to do is I want to share with you guys my new spoon. A new watcher, a new follower, friend. Now, of course, I consider you guys all friends. Messaged me and said, you know, can I send you something? And I'm like, sure, you know. And he carves these wooden spoons. So Andy D's Woodworking. It's really cool, and it's going to be perfect for what we're making today, because today we're making risotto. And we've made risotto before. It's just another recipe. But today's going to be a zucchini risotto. We are getting ready to get into spring, and then after spring comes summer, and you know you should have these things in the back of your head. You need a zucchini. You need a whole zucchini cookbook. Because zucchini is one of those things you grow in your garden that just when it starts growing, boy, you got zucchini coming out your ears. So this is just another way to use zucchini. Plus, it's a staple in any Italian household. And it's a good green vegetable, so it's healthy for everybody. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to start with our hot pan. Vegetable broth is over there already warmed up. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute some onions. So while the pan's warming up there. All right, I'm just gonna dice up some onion. Want it kind of small because I want it to kind of blend in. You know, I would say one small onion, a little more than half of a medium onion, you know, half of a large onion. This is kind of a largish onion, so I'm gonna go a little less than half there. Okay, I'm gonna start with a little bit of nice extra virgin olive oil because I'm not gonna let this get too hot. We're just gonna coat the bottom. So let's get some onion in here. Today I'm feeling it. I'm feeling a little bit of wanting a little meat flavor, a little but I also like to add texture. So what I'm going to do, and this is not part of the official main recipe, this is an option. I keep these little things of pancetta. I'm just going to put a little bit of this in there fried up. I'm just going to let that heat up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it, I like crispy pancetta. So I'm not going to mix it in with the risotto. You can, of course. I could cook that in with the onions and let it get crispy. But honestly, then it, you know, eventually kind of soggy-fies a little bit. Okay, so we have our onions are already getting a little bit translucent, as you may or may not be able to see. I'm going to give them about one more minute. And what I'm going to do is, in just a minute, I'm going to add the rice, and we're going to toss it around here with the onions and the oil. Make sure that it starts to toast up a little bit. Okay, so that was, let's see, 320 grams. It was like three and a half cups, okay? So I'm just turning these around in here, making sure that they all get kind of in the oil. You know, it's not really a lot of oil, but it's oiling them a little bit, and it gives them something to crisp up. Now, my little pancetta here, very quickly, is toasting. I just want to make sure that they get all browned, but not burnt. Little pancetta pizza with a little fat in them. Sometimes it just goes, bloop, they kind of popcorn a little bit. They're pretty fun. Now, I have vegetable broth over here, about a liter, but because I put just a little bit, so for your 320 grams of rice, you'd put about a liter of broth. I got a little bit more, probably about a third to a half a cup more, because we're probably going to use the leftovers for tonight as our little teeny bit of starch with our protein dinner. So they're just beautifully golden red. I'm going to let them sit in there, but I'm going to move it. So once these start to get a little bit of color to them, that's when we're going to start adding our liquid. So we're going to add, you know, 100 grams or so, which is, you know, whatever, wine. We're just going to do this. but I'll tell you, it's probably like a glass of wine that you would drink. So we're just gonna, now I'm not gonna stir this constantly here because that helps it evaporate. What I want it to do is kind of just really soak in to all the kernels. Every little piece of rice is gonna get some of that wine flavor. So what we're gonna do here first is we're gonna start adding some of the broth. Oh, look at that. It has pretty much soaked up already all of the wine. And now we're gonna start adding the broth. So I'm just going to, now my warm broth, and you want warm broth because it really soaks in better. You know, if you've got it cold, it's kind of sitting there, you got to reheat it every time. So having warm broth, actually, you know, people complain that risotto takes a long time to cook, but in fact, you can make it take less time. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to just give this a quick one stir, you know, let it sit there and let it sit and soak up that beautiful broth now a little bit. Now, in the meantime, while that's brothing, we are going to shred our zucchini very quickly. These are already washed, and I'm going to use approximately 350 grams of zucchini. Honestly, this big one's probably enough, but I'm going to do something else, I think. Being a little creative here, I may add that in a different way. Maybe some chunks in there, you know? Okay, wait, time to add a little more, add a little stir. All right, it's not fully soaked in yet, but it's almost. Boy, that smells good already, and it really only has onions and broth, you know? Oh, that's right, the vino. Vino always makes everything taste better. Okay, so that's soaking up, and we are grating away. It's such, you know, zucchini when it's grated, such a pretty color. It's like such a, I don't know, pungent, vibrant kind of green. All right, this round is almost soaked in. We're gonna put in some more. When we get to about the halfway mark, because we want it, we don't want to overcook the zucchini, but we do want it to cook a little bit, but we want it to stay not totally mushy. So when we get to, like, I'd say just beyond the halfway mark here. So we're almost there, because I can see that the grains of rice are already, they're very glistening. You can see they're kind of puffing a little bit. So I'm going to wait till this one gets mostly soaked. I still have, you know, a little less, just under half a pot left of the broth. And this will soak that all up, but I'm going to throw the zucchini in then. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the zucchini in. Oh, yeah. And really, truly, you can't have too much of the vegetable. This is all going to cook down. It's going to taste so good. All right, I'm mixing this all in here a little bit. Now it's time for some broth. Some more brodo. That's how you say broth in Italian. Brodo, B-R-O-D-O. I figure, you know, every now and then I'll throw you a word and you can learn a little bit. So when you see a recipe in Italian, you're like, I know what that means. That I haven't added any salt and pepper yet. I kind of wait till I'm at this point because I don't want it to get too, you know, broken down in there. So I'm going to start with just a pinch of salt. And then afterwards, I'm going to taste it a little black pepper. Because I like black pepper a little more. There we go. Just going to stir this in. Because I used, my broth is no salt in it. I'm going to take my little bit of my crispy, crunchy pancetta. And I'm going to just put it in here. Because what I'm going to do now, just for fun, is I'm going to take some of this zucchini while I'm waiting for that. So I'm going to make some little teeny weeny cubes. Now I'm getting that thing nice and hot. Ooh, I just got even a better idea. So hold on. I'm making this up as we go here. I'm cutting up some little pieces of zucchini. Now I'm going to make them into little teeny cubes. Now, I could put these little zucchini cubes right in the risotto and give it some little chunks, which I probably will do some of that, just because I'm telling you about it, so we'll do that. Wow, this is really soaking up nice. Now, you have to realize also, I put in the same amount of broth that I've been putting in, and it's, you know, it's cooking away, but also the zucchini has water in it. So this kind of added to this round, the contest round of making zucchini risotto. But the zucchini has water in it too. So, you know, that's kind of coming out of it now. So it's adding to the liquid, which is fine because it's just that zucchini flavor now is soaking into the risotto. So now that my little pan is cooking up, let me take just a little regular olive oil, throw it in there. Just a little bit. Now I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's see. I'm going to take a little bit of cheese. I'm going to just kind of fry up a couple little pieces of cheesy zucchini. Doesn't that sound cool? It's kind of like just, you know, an idea. Now this time in that pan, it had a little bit of the pancetta fat, which, because I didn't put any grease in there before, or oil. And I just put in a little regular olive oil, not the extra virgin, so that it'll, you know, I can get it a little hotter to make it almost frying. Let's see here. Let's see how a couple of them. Oh yeah, hear the little sizzle? So I'm just gonna, so basically what I'm doing is I'm making tasty garnishes. You know, I guess you could make bigger ones. You could egg them and fry them if you wanted, or egg and cheese. But you know, this is just a little something. We're gonna see how they come out. We're having fun. And if you can just learn how to have fun in the kitchen with you and your family, coming to the table's that much more exciting because you're like, okay, let's see how it came out. So the bottom sides with the cheese on them are turning a little brown. That might be a fun little garnish. I don't know how crispy it'll be. I think if I deep fried them, they would come out more crispy. But you know, I think it'll still taste good on top. So we're gonna have, when we're done, we're gonna garnish this with some of those little chunks of zucchini and some of these little pieces of pancetta that are all crispy. Let me tell you, it's gonna be good. Okay, so last time I made risotto, you know, there's a couple different kinds of rice to use. There's the arborio, which is the more common one that you'll more easily find on your grocery store shelves. And there's the carnaroli. Well, today I used the arborio because that's what I had. I always keep whatever I can get my hands on. I get it. If I see it, I grab it so I can have it in the back of my pantry for whenever I want it. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit more. We're almost to the bottom of this. I bet you by the time we're done with the broth, we've got just a couple more scoops, and then this will be completely ready. Now the last two ingredients that we're going to add, once we get to the point where it's all soaked up, just before it's completely 100% cooked up, we're going to add in some butter, and we're going to add in some Parmesan cheese. This needs more salt. I can taste I put a little teeny bit in, but I'm not going to add any more salt until I've added the cheese because that's going to make a huge difference. So always be careful adding extra salt if you haven't added your cheese yet. I think right now, since I cut up some of these, I'm just going to throw these last little cubetti, little cubes, into the risotto. And I'm going to go ahead and throw these in. Because you know what? These last couple minutes will make these just a little bit. Again, I love texture. I like soft, I like crunchy, I like, you know, pieces. And the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add, so this is about 50 grams, so it's like 2 tablespoons of butter, approximately. Well, no, I shouldn't say 2 tablespoons, because it's kind of like, let's see, 50 grams, a stick of butter is 113 grams, so it's under, so it's probably like 3 tablespoons. Sorry about that. So we're gonna get that in here to get some of the creamy factor going. All right, and last but not least, it would be, in theory, about 70 grams. I have no idea how, you know, my scale's broken, so I'm just gonna go whoop. You know, I would say that's about half, or maybe 3/4 of a cup or so, you know. Good enough for me. One of the things I'm going to do is I have a little bit of parsley and a little bit of mint. Mint and zucchini. Believe it or not, they use that a lot in Italy. So I'm going to throw a little bit of the mint in that I already chopped up. Just a little, you know, a little hint. It's probably a teaspoon's worth if I smushed it all down. So just a little mint. You can put those in at the very end. I like to mix them in. And then I've got some parsley here that I'm also going to save for the little bit late in another minute or two. Because I know it's cooked enough, but I'm checking now for salt. It doesn't need more salt because I put the cheese in it. Now that last test taste, it definitely needed some more saltiness to it, but the cheese added just what it needed, so I do not need to add more salt. So always be careful when you're adding salt. Don't do it too soon. Give this one more stir around, make sure it's all nice and mixed up. Oh God, this is just beautiful. I do get so excited about this stuff, for real. Look at that. Okay, so I've got this beautiful dish of risotto. I'm gonna throw in, actually I'm gonna throw a little parsley on top. I'm gonna throw a little bit of this crispy pieces of zucchini on top. Oh my God, it's so pretty. And some of this pancetta on top. So no pancetta on the inside, none of the fat and grease on the inside, just these little bites that you'll get a little flavor, and you know, you're still keeping it. Look at how pretty this is. I'm gonna take a picture of it and I'll post it. But this is today's lunch in our house. Lunch/dinner, because we eat our big meal mezzogiorno, which means midday, which is noon-ish. It'll be more like 1 o'clock, but you know, well, no, it won't. It's gonna be sooner. Anyway, please try this. It's so good. Risotto is not something to be scared of. So many people say to me, oh my gosh, risotto, it takes so long and it takes so this and that. We started, you know, late today and we're done already. Of course, I was taking my time explaining, but it really doesn't take that long, and it is so yummy and it's so refreshing and hearty, depending what you put in it. The mint in here adds a nice little mint, and zucchini in my village of Roseto, they use a lot sometimes when they pickle the zucchini, sometimes when they're making other zucchini dishes. So it's really, really good. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I am starting some new things. So I've just gotten on, there's a new app, only if you have an iPhone, called Clubhouse, and I'm going to be starting some rooms in there for discussions about the stuff I like to discuss. It's strictly voice, not video, but I'm going to be doing some Clubhouse rooms to look into it. If you're interested in joining Clubhouse, you have to be invited. So go on and look and see if you know people on there and ask them to invite you. I do want to once again shout out to my new friend Andy, who made me this beautiful spoon. And believe me, as soon as they're available for you guys, I will let you know, because they're gonna be. I'm twisting his arm from a distance. And don't forget about my FreshJax organic spices. I didn't use any today. I'm gonna get a few more of them for some of my more Italian things. I've got more of their blends, and we're gonna be making some dishes with those blends this week. I made some the other day, and I've been testing them out so I can share with you all these beautiful ideas I have. So that's it for today. But please continue voting for me on the favorite chef. The link is on my page, on my Dorina's Kitchen Facebook page. It's, favchef.com/2021/Dorina. But, that's just in case you don't go get it and you can't find it. But in the meantime, it's on my Facebook page. So please continue voting. I appreciate that you guys haven't gotten mad that I've been nagging you about it. But there's, thousands of chefs in this thing. And I just want to see how far I can get. I'd love to be number one, but, who knows. But do me a favor too, if you wouldn't mind, please share my page, my Facebook page, my Instagram, my YouTube channel. If you wouldn't mind sharing it all on your social media, help me get some new followers and some new subscribers. I would so appreciate it. I love doing this. I love sharing my kitchen with you guys. I love sharing my recipes. I love sharing my experiences of being a mom for 30 years and having 6 of them. So I learned a little bit, And one of these days we're going to get on and we're going to just have a talk about youth sports and soccer, because that's my other passion. And, you know, people who really know me up close and personal know that I played soccer until college, and then I coached since I've been coaching since high school. You know, taking a little bit of time off now. I do some consulting and some, you know, training here and there, but right now my mission is to get people to the table, and then we can talk about soccer at the table. Oh, there you go. Soccer is life, but so is food. So, you know, the only things I do are soccer, food, and art. I paint, I do some other random things, but you know, all things Italian, right? Who plays soccer better than the Italians? Who cooks better than the Italians? Who creates, you know, we're crazy artists that make the world beautiful. So anyway, but at the same time, all the rest of you who aren't Italian who follow me, I still appreciate all of you guys, and I hope I'm teaching you some dishes that you will bring to your family table. So, mwah, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Ciao.